The explosion blew the lights out across stage 12, and by the time anyone could see again, the PT boat set was already on fire, with John Ford still inside. Wait, because what John Wayne did in the next 60 seconds would erase every cruel thing Ford ever said to him, and the 3 words Ford whispered when they got out would haunt Wayne for the rest of his life. MGM Studios, Los Angeles, July 18th, 1945. It's 4:47 p.m. on a Wednesday. They're 3 weeks into shooting. They were expendable. The war's over, but the movie isn't. Ford's been pushing everyone hard, especially Wayne. Today they're filming a night sequence on the PT boat mock-up, a plywood and canvas replica of motor torpedo boat 34, mounted on a gimbal to simulate ocean movement. 40 foot long, painted navy gray, mounted with dummy torpedoes and machine guns. It looks real enough on camera. That's all that matters. Wayne's in costume, navy khakis, lieutenant's bars on the collar, his character Rusty Ryan's uniform. He's been standing on the boat for 6 hours, running the same scene over and over. Ford wants it perfect. The lighting setup is complex. 18 arc lights positioned around the set, simulating moonlight on open water. Each light draws enough power to run a small house. All the cables snake across the floor, taped down, bundled together. Somewhere in that tangle of wires and connectors, insulation is wearing thin. Ford's on the boat too, standing near the helm, gesturing at Wayne and Robert Montgomery. Again, this time, Duke, look at the horizon before you speak. You're thinking about home. Let me see it in your eyes. Wayne nods. Montgomery adjusts his hat. They reset. The assistant director calls for quiet. Ford steps back toward the engine housing prop, leans against it. That's when the cable shorts. Nobody sees it happen. Just a spark, then a pop, then every light on the set goes dark at once. Someone yells. Then the smell hits. Burning insulation, sharp and chemical. Then orange light blooms near the base of the boat, where the cables run under the hull. Flames lick up the side of the plywood in seconds. The set erupts. Crew members scramble off the platform. The script supervisor drops her binder. The cinematographer yanks his camera off the crane. Wayne's already moving, jumping down from the boat to the stage floor. Montgomery's right behind him. Everybody out, someone's shouting. Get the extinguishers. But the flames are spreading fast, feeding on paint and canvas and old dry wood. The boat's a tinderbox. Wayne's at the edge of the stage, near the exit, when he counts. Crew running past him, grips, gaffers, makeup artists, all heading for the doors. Montgomery's there. The assistant director, the cinematographer, 28 people, maybe 30. He scans their faces, and Ford's not among them. Wayne turns back toward the set. Smoke's pouring off the boat now, thick and black, rolling across the ceiling. The flames are already 6 feet high, climbing the mast. He can't see the deck anymore. "Where's Ford?" he shouts. Nobody answers. They're all still running. Montgomery grabs Wayne's arm. "Duke, we gotta go." "Where's Ford?" Montgomery looks back at the fire, then at Wayne. His face goes white. Jesus, he was on the boat. Notice something here. Wayne doesn't hesitate, doesn't think, just turns and runs straight back into the smoke. The heat hits him like a wall. His eyes start watering immediately. He pulls his shirt up over his mouth and nose, pushes forward. The stage is a maze now, filled with black smoke. He can't see 3 feet ahead. His boots hit something. A cable, a prop. He doesn't know. He keeps moving, one hand out in front of him, feeling his way back toward where the boat should be. His lungs are burning. The smoke's thick enough to chew. He's coughing, eyes streaming, but he keeps going. His hand hits wood, the side of the boat. He follows it, finds the ladder they used to climb aboard, grabs the rung, pulls himself up. The deck's an inferno. The canvas rigging's on fire. The wooden mast is burning like a torch. Wayne stays low, under the worst of the smoke, scanning through squinted eyes. Then he sees him. Ford's on the deck near the stern, collapsed against the bulkhead, not moving. Wayne crawls across the deck. The heat's so intense, his skin feels like it's shrinking. He reaches Ford, grabs him by the shoulders. Ford's unconscious, dead weight. Wayne hooks his arms under Ford's armpits, starts dragging him backward toward the ladder. Ford's not a small man. 5'10" solid dead weight makes him heavier. Wayne's boots slip on the deck. He loses his grip, almost drops him, grabs again, pulls harder. He gets Ford to the ladder. This is the problem. Can't carry him down. Can't drag him. The ladder's narrow, steep. Wayne positions himself on the top rung, facing up, pulls Ford toward him, gets Ford's arms over his shoulders, locks his own arms under Ford's chest, then starts backing down the ladder one rung at a time. Ford's weight pressing down on him. Halfway down, Wayne's boot slips. He catches himself on the rail with one hand, Ford swinging against him, both of them nearly going over. Wayne's arm screams. He grits his teeth, resets his feet, keeps descending. One rung, another. His legs are shaking. His vision's blurring from the smoke and heat and effort. He hits the stage floor hard, both knees buckling, Ford collapsing on top of him. Wayne rolls out from under him, gets to his feet, grabs Ford under the arms again, drags him away from the boat, away from the flames, toward clean air. Stop for a second and picture this from the exit. Montgomery and 3 crew members are standing at the stage door, staring into the smoke. They can't see anything, just black clouds and orange light. They've been standing there for 40 seconds. Nobody knows if Wayne's alive. Then 2 shapes emerge from the smoke. Wayne, face black with soot, eyes red, coughing so hard he can barely stand, and Ford, draped across Wayne's shoulders in a fireman's carry, head hanging down, not moving. Montgomery runs forward, helps Wayne lower Ford to the floor. Ford's breathing but shallow. His face is gray. There's a gash on his forehead, blood mixing with soot. One of the crew members has already called for an ambulance. Another's got a blanket. They wrap Ford, tilt his head back. He's not waking up. Wayne collapses against the wall, slides down to sitting. He's sucking air in huge gasps, each breath triggering another coughing fit. His hands are shaking. Montgomery crouches next to him. "You okay?" Wayne can't answer. Just nods, keeps coughing. Behind them, the fire department's arriving. Firefighters in helmets and heavy coats rush past, dragging hoses. The boat's fully engulfed now. Nothing's saving it. They're just keeping it from spreading to the rest of the studio. The ambulance arrives 6 minutes later. Paramedics load Ford onto a stretcher, check his vitals. One of them looks at Wayne. "You need to come too." Wayne shakes his head. "I'm fine. Sir, you've got smoke inhalation." "I said I'm fine." Wayne's voice is a rasp, barely audible. The paramedic opens his mouth to argue, then sees Wayne's face and thinks better of it. They load Ford into the ambulance and drive off. Sirens wailing. Wayne sits there against the wall for another 20 minutes, watching the firefighters work. Montgomery sits next to him, doesn't say anything, just sits. The rest of the crew has gathered outside, standing in small groups, talking in low voices. Every few minutes someone looks over at Wayne, but nobody approaches. Listen to this. The fire burns for another hour before they get it under control. The PT boat's completely destroyed, just charred wood and twisted metal. The cameras are ruined. 3 days of footage melted. The set's a total loss. Insurance will cover it, but production's shut down for at least a week, maybe 2. At 7:15 p.m., a studio executive arrives. Dark suit, gray hair, clipboard in hand. He finds Wayne still sitting against the wall. "Mr. Wayne, we need a statement about what happened." Wayne looks up at him. "Ford was on the boat. I got him out." "Yes, but that's the statement." The executive blinks. The fire marshal will need more details. How the fire started, safety protocols. Montgomery stands up. He pulled an unconscious man off a burning set while the rest of us stood outside. That's what happened. You want more details? Ask the fire marshal to go in there himself next time. The executive leaves. Montgomery sits back down. Neither of them moves until the firefighters pack up and leave at 9:30 p.m. Remember what I said about Ford being in the hospital. Wayne doesn't go home. Drives straight to Cedars of Lebanon Medical Center, still in his costume, still covered in soot. The nurse at the desk tries to stop him. Visiting hours are, "Where's John Ford?" Something in Wayne's voice makes her point instead of argue. Third floor, room 312. Wayne takes the stairs 2 at a time, finds the room. Ford's in the bed, oxygen mask on his face, IV in his arm, awake. His good eye tracks Wayne as he enters. Wayne stops at the foot of the bed, doesn't sit, just stands there, gripping the metal rail. Ford pulls the oxygen mask down with one hand. His voice is hoarse. "You came back. You were still in there. You could have died." Wayne doesn't answer. Ford's looking at him with an expression Wayne's never seen before. Not anger, not criticism, something else, something that looks almost like wonder. "Duke, why'd you do it?" "Because you're John Ford." That's not an answer. Wayne's jaw tightens. "Yeah, it is." Silence. Ford's hand is shaking on the oxygen mask. He clears his throat, winces. "I've been hard on you, too hard. You had your reasons." "Did I?" Ford's eye is wet. "Or was I just punishing you for the war I saw and you didn't?" Wayne looks away, stares at the wall, the IV bag, anywhere but Ford's face. "I wanted you to serve," Ford says quietly. "Wanted you to see what I saw. Wanted you to understand. But you know what I realized lying on that deck, thinking I was gonna burn to death?" Wayne doesn't answer. "I realized you did understand. You just carried it different than I did, and I never gave you credit for that. Never acknowledged that staying home and facing that guilt every single day might have been its own kind of service." Wayne's throat is so tight he can barely breathe. Ford puts the oxygen mask back on, takes a few breaths, pulls it down again. "You ran into a burning building for me, Duke. No hesitation. You think I don't know what that means? You think I don't know what you were proving?" "I wasn't proving anything. You were in there." "Exactly." Ford's voice cracks. "That's my point. You didn't think. You just acted. That's who you are. And I've spent 3 years trying to break you for not being someone else." Wayne finally looks at him. Ford's crying now, tears running down his weathered face. Wayne's never seen John Ford cry. Didn't think the man was capable. "I'm sorry," Ford whispers. "I'm so goddamn sorry." Wayne pulls a chair over, sits down hard. His own eyes are burning, and it's not from the smoke anymore. "Yeah, I do." Ford wipes his face with the back of his hand. "I've been a bastard. Called it directing, called it discipline. But it was just me being a bastard, and you took it. Never complained, never quit, just kept showing up and doing the work. Better man than me, Duke. Always have been." Before we go on, you need to understand one thing about how this moment changed both of them. Ford will direct Wayne in 8 more films over the next 18 years. They'll make some of the greatest westerns ever put to film, but Ford will never, not once, question Wayne's courage again. And Wayne will never forget the sound of Ford's voice saying, "I'm sorry." The doctor comes in at 10:45 p.m., tells Wayne he needs to leave. Ford needs rest. Wayne stands, starts to go. Ford calls after him, "Duke." Wayne turns. "Thank you." Wayne nods, walks out, doesn't trust himself to speak. He drives home, parks in the driveway, sits in the car for 30 minutes. His wife comes out, sees him through the windshield, covered in soot and ash, just staring at nothing. She opens the door. "John, what happened?" There was a fire on set. My God, are you hurt? No. Was anyone else hurt? Ford, he's okay now. She studies his face. What aren't you telling me? Wayne looks at her. I went back in for Ford, and he thanked me. She doesn't understand why that matters so much. How could she? She wasn't there for the 3 years of needling, the constant jabs about service, the barely concealed contempt wrapped in professional courtesy. She doesn't know that Ford's thank you was really an apology for all of it, an acknowledgement that Wayne was enough exactly as he was. Production resumes 10 days later on a different stage. New PT boat, rebuilt set. The crew's nervous. Every time a light flickers, someone flinches. But Wayne and Ford are calm, professional. They finish. They were expendable in September. The film releases in December 1945. Critics call it a masterpiece. Audiences stay away. They're tired of war pictures. The box office is disappointing, but Ford doesn't care. He's already told Wayne it's the best work they've ever done together. In January 1946, Ford receives a letter from the Navy Department. They're awarding him the Legion of Merit for his wartime service. The ceremony will be in Washington. Ford writes back and asks if he can bring a guest. They say yes. He brings Wayne. Nobody understands why. A few reporters ask. Ford just says, because he earned it. He doesn't elaborate. Wayne doesn't comment. But everyone who was on stage 12 that day knows exactly what Ford means. Over the next 3 decades, Wayne and Ford will work together on Red River, Fort Apache, She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, Rio Grande, The Quiet Man, The Searchers, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. 9 films total after the fire. In every single one, when Ford blocks a scene, he always checks with Wayne first. This work for you, Duke? It's a small thing. Most people on set don't even notice. But Montgomery does. He works with them again on several pictures, watches the dynamic, sees how it's changed. Years later, a young director asks him what it was like working with Ford and Wayne. Montgomery thinks about it. Ford respected a lot of actors, but Duke was the only one he trusted with his life. Literally. August 31st, 1973. John Ford dies at home in Palm Desert. Wayne's at the funeral, standing in the front row. When it's over and everyone else is left, Wayne stays at the graveside. A groundskeeper comes over, says they need to fill in the grave. Wayne nods but doesn't move. Just give me a minute. The groundskeeper backs away. Wayne stands there for 20 minutes, hat in his hands, staring at the casket. Nobody knows what he's thinking, but if you'd asked him, he might have said he was remembering stage 12. The smoke, the heat, Ford's weight on his shoulders. The 3 words in the hospital room. Thank you, Duke. 6 years later, June 11th, 1979, Wayne dies at UCLA Medical Center. At the memorial service, Robert Montgomery speaks. He tells the story of the fire. Most people in the audience have never heard it. When he finishes, he says this: John Wayne ran into a burning building to save a man who'd spent 3 years tearing him down. And when he got him out, he didn't ask for gratitude or recognition. He just wanted to make sure Ford was okay. That's not acting. That's character. The room is silent. Montgomery continues. After the fire, Ford changed, became gentler, more generous. People noticed but never knew why. I'll tell you why. Because Duke showed him what grace looks like. And Ford spent the rest of his life trying to live up to it. If you enjoyed spending this time here, I'd be grateful if you'd consider subscribing. A simple like also helps more than you'd think. In the end, the fire on stage 12 destroyed a set and delayed a picture. But it also burned away something else. The years of resentment and unspoken hurt between 2 men who needed each other more than either one wanted to admit. Sometimes it takes a crisis to show you who a person really is. And sometimes, in the middle of the smoke and flames, You find out that the man you thought you knew has been a hero all along. What's your worst fear? The kind you hope you'd be brave enough to face? Tell me in the comments. And if you want to hear about the night Wayne showed up at Ford's house with a bottle of whiskey and a confession that changed everything between them, let me know below.